Okay, I've had our first practice today in Shells. It was a good one. We really went into the practice really wanting to strain our guys. It was hot, and I think that's a good thing. Did a whole lot of 11-on-11 against each other. I think about 40 minutes. Got a chance to, we went all three groups, got a chance to really give everybody an opportunity to get out there and see what they could do. Went inside for a while, so it was really good information for our players. Right now, of course, when you have everybody in your team get a chance to get out there and do things, this will be a really good evaluation, from the film for our coaches. One thing, Cord Sandberg did show up today and practice for the first time. It was good to have him out there. He did a little bit of 7-on-7, a little bit of 1-on-1, just trying to acclimate him to what we're doing. But overall, I thought our guys' tempo, I've been really stressing our tempo. I thought our tempo was better. Like I said, got a lot of reps, and we've really been focusing on the mental toughness, the physical toughness, and just after 3 days, each day we've gotten better, and that was really my challenge to our guys after the first 2 days, and we'll continue that challenge as we go. Questions?
How did Sandberg throw the ball today?
Pretty good. I mean, he's a professional baseball player. The ball comes out pretty natural. It's just going to take him a little bit of time to get used to a bigger ball, but he's kind of a timing thrower type deal anyway. So for the first day, I thought he did a solid job.
He has to be in short for 2 days.
Yes, he's got to be in short for 2 days. So he did, some 7-on-7 and did some 1-on-1, and he'll be in shorts again tomorrow during his acclimation period.
Gus, if you work Mike Horton a little bit more at center, and how's he looked?
Yes, so practice 2, Mike Horton did primarily center the whole time. Today he went back to guard, and I think JB's plan is to put him back to center tomorrow. And hopefully after that first scrimmage, like I was talking about, we'll be able to at least put some guys in position. I think I said that day 1. That's our goal now. That's really fast pace as far as making important decisions, but hopefully we'll have the information we need by then, being 27 days away from our first game right now.
What did you think about his appearance at center, though?
Yeah, I think he did a solid job. For the first time, like I've said before, he has snapped the last couple of years. We always train our guards, but, for the first day in there, the snaps were solid, and I thought he did a good job. Now, keep in mind, that was helmets only, so we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Gus, what have you seen out of Caleb Kim in 3 days, just kind of at that spot?
Yeah, Caleb's fighting for the starting position, and Caleb's been here for a while, and he knows the offense, he understands everything, and, he's competing for the starting spot, and, I think he's done some good things.
With Calvin Ashley, is that a situation where you're going to keep him at guard no matter what, or is there a possibility of moving the tackle?
Yeah, as of right now, we're working at guard and trying to get him comfortable. That's his first 3 days really to do it, and I think he's done some good things. And but like I said earlier, he does have the ability to play tackle, but right now we're pretty committed to him playing guard. And I think for the first 3 days, that's a different position. It's different inside than out. And, I think he's progressing, and but yeah, that's our plan for right now.
How are those guys, Tayshawn Manning and Calvin, handling that, knowing that Mike's probably the starter there if he stays at guard, but they could be in just a 2-man battle, so to speak.
Yeah, they're competing. They're competing for playing time. Calvin's competing for a starting job, and there's a lot of competition right now, and that's a good thing. The good thing is there's a lot of competition. Okay, but when you're 27 days away, you want to put the pieces of the puzzle sooner rather than later. So it's kind of one of those things that's good, the competition, but the quicker that we can get them in places, the better.
Is that something where you usually kind of giving that guy an idea of what you're going with going into a game week when classes start? Is there a possibility you try that a little bit earlier this year as a result of it still August?
We're hoping that we can do it sooner rather than later. Our goal is by the end of the first scrimmage, but I can't guarantee that'll happen, and that's what we told our players. They're competing, and there's good competition. I will say that. There's good competition. We just got some guys that are a little inexperienced that just need experience, and that's why we did a whole bunch of 11-on-11 today. Not just for him, but for a lot of our young guys, you know, you look at, you know, the young receivers. You know, there's a good chance that those young receivers will be on the field game one here in 27 days, and so we've got to give them as many reps as we can, you know, especially the guys that just got here, you know, that weren't here in the spring. So, and there's other positions like that too. But, you know, but I love their attitudes. I mean, our young guys, I mean, their attitudes are good. They're hungry. You know, they're competitive. They just need to get out there and do it.
That's with that competition on offense open, or really on everywhere, but especially on offense. How have those newcomers how have they progressed in just 3 days?
Yeah, you know, the skill guys on offense, I would say every one of them has done something the first 3 days that have impressed me, that tell me that, you know, they'll all be solid players or possibly good players before it's all said and done. So that's the encouraging thing, you know, just the young skill, and there's going to be some guys that you're going to see out there this year, and some of those guys will be on the field that first game.
Gus, we've seen guys at receiver over the years take big steps from one year to the next. Sammy did it, Ricardo did it, Ryan certainly.
Yeah.
What are you seeing with Darius, where now you're having a guy with his third year, he nearly doubled his production, more than doubled his production last year. What do you hope to see from him?
You know, just after the first 3 days, I can tell that he's improved since the spring. So that is a really good thing. You know, I know Cody's really been working hard on his intermediate routes, and he's off to a really good start these first 3 days, but we're going to be asking a whole lot of him, and we'll be asking a whole lot of Nate, and then Ryan. I mean, those are the 3 guys that really have the experience, and, you know, with Will and Eli's situation up in the air, you know, so we're going to be relying on some of those young guys for depth. Those 3 guys, you know, we're really challenging them all 3 to really take that next step, and you know, so and we're off to a good start so far.
What have
You've
you
always asked the X to be more that vertical guy. That's always been that role. How much should have been talked about a little bit? How much has this offseason been focusing, trying to maybe diversify what you expect of the X, and whether it's theirs or anybody else, just diversifying what that role?
You know, I think you know Chip doing the evaluation of last season and tendencies and everything that goes with it. You know, he's aware of all that, and, you know, as a coach, you try to do the best you can to use your tendencies against other people, and obviously, you know, the first game, you know, you've got a huge volume of games and tendencies and everything, and, you know, you just got to be aware of those, and you got to use them, you know, against
We've seen Darius Slayton be able to step up last year. We haven't quite seen Nate Craig Myers consistently do that. Do you believe this is the year he puts it all together?
Yeah, I really do, and here's why. You look at the end of the season, that's when he started really coming on, and I really think it's a matter of just giving him some more opportunities. I know that Chip and Cody have been talking about that, and we've done that so far in these first 3 days of practice too. So, you know, and all 3 of those guys have game experience. All 3 of those guys have big game experience. So, you know, that's very important.
Guys, could you talk about a guy like Derek Brown, who's an academic honor roll guy and a student athlete leader and also a great player? What all that together means?
Yeah, you know, that's I think that's probably rare to see someone as talented and as well-rounded as Derek, and I think that's a tribute to his parents. His parents raised him, and he's did a super job with him, and since he's been here, you know, he's really grown, and you know, I'm real proud of the person that he is off the field, and then on the field, his play speaks for itself.
What have you seen from Whitlow these first few practices?
Yeah, you know, Whitlow's caught my eye a couple times. I mean, he, you know, he's playing with great effort and great energy. You can tell he is playing with urgency and wanting to be a factor this year, and that's a good thing. And then there's some good competition, you know, with those running backs. And, you know, like I said, today was really good because we had, you know, 3 different groups, and we got a chance for everybody to get multiple reps, not just a few, and give those guys an opportunity to show what they can do. And the thing about running back, I mean, you know, yeah, you got to run the football, and most running backs we recruit can run the football, but you've got to protect. You got to know your check downs. There's a whole lot of the other things that it takes, you know, to be a running back, you know, at this level.
How's he done on those areas?
What's that?
How's he done on
He's
those
gotten better.
areas?
And like I said, I think that the thing about his urgency, I mean, it's important to him. You can really tell that he's very urgent and wanting to play. I mean, if he makes a mistake, he's not happy about it. That's always a good sign.
Gus, Asa Martin came in early, got bigger and stronger since the spring. How has he progressed now early on?
He's off to a good start. You know, he's out there, and the fact that he came in the spring, you know, he doesn't look like a freshman right now. That's probably the best way to put it. And you know, he is bigger and stronger than when he first got here. And, you know, he has that attitude that, you know, he's wanting to play, and he's a real confident guy.
Who are you looking at punt return right now early, and especially among some of the young guys that have first come in here?
Yeah, Todd and Matthew Hill are two guys that we're really focusing on right now. Obviously, we have Ryan Davis, but those are the two that both of them have playmaking ability, and every day he's catching punts. And you know, and so far, you know, they're doing a good job catching the football now. Coming that first scrimmage, you know, we're going to see what they can do in a live situation. That's usually when you can really tell pretty quick.
So you will go live with punts?
Yes, definitely.
Gus, what's the challenge of guys learning to think, call a fair catch on a kickoff at the 5-yard line, for instance?
Yeah, I think, you know, there's strategy involved, and that's part of coaching to direct them when to and when not to. So I think you'll see most teams be very strategic with that, and you know, it could simplify things too, you know, because there's a lot of different things on kickoffs teams do. They overload, they weave, they do a lot of things to mess up number counts, and you know, so I think most teams will really use that to their advantage. You know, if it's a really complicated system and things you have to do, and you can see a little bit more fair catching. And then sometimes there's advantages, especially when we got a returner, obviously like Noah with what he did last year. You know, we really think that he has a chance to even take that next step. And then of course we got some young guys that just came in that can really run, and you know, so we'll see. But I know Larry's got a plan, and each week there'll be a strategy that goes with it.
With Ryan Davis, just because he's playing so much at receiver for you, do you think about giving him a break at punter, you know, punt returner, excuse me, this year, or do you think he can?
You know, I think if he's our best punt returner, we'll give him a break on offense. I mean, you know, that's a critical position, and you know, just catching the ball, you know, there's a little bit of stress that goes up from a coach's standpoint when that ball goes up there, just to make sure it's caught and secured, not mumbled. So you got to trust the guy. And then he's got playmaking ability. He's a real confident guy. Usually if you make the first one or two miss, you got a chance for a big one. So, you know, if he is the best one, he'll be out there, and we'll rest him on offense if he needs that.
Come back to running back for a second. You mentioned protection. Last year in the Clemson game particularly, you said protection was the reason why Cam Martin wasn't out there. You were concerned about the linebackers, the size disparity.
Yeah, you know, we had a bigger back, you know, with Pat Way, and it's just a better matchup, so it wasn't so negative about Cam Martin. Now, I will say Cam's gotten bigger now, and, you know, there'll be times you'll see Cam cut him, you know. So, you know, he's ready. We have confidence in Cam, and, you know, we feel like he'll be able to run the entire offense, you know, this year.
Any of the young guys catch your eye in the first 3 days?
You know, the three, you know, receivers really caught my eye. You know, Matthew Hill, Schwartz, and then I will say Shivers too. You know, running back. He plays at a different speed. Schwartz plays at a different speed. And Matthew Hill has done a solid job too. And you know, defensively, Richard Jr. has really caught my eye. Now, I'll say this: I mean, I just took some individuals, but if you put everybody together as a group of coming in, I would say the coaches right now are pleased with where the whole group is, which that's kind of rare, because usually after 3 days, you know, guys are, you know, what may take him a year and all that stuff, and I don't think that's the case with this group. And of course, when we recruited them, we felt like it was going to be a really good group anyway. And so far so good. I mean, it's early, but right now, I'd say we feel really good about the group as a whole.
Is that something where you're just cautiously optimistic till you give them pads and see if they fall the ball?
Yeah, I'll say this. The first 2 days, you can learn something. But when you get in pads, it's probably times 10 what you're really can evaluate and learn about them, so, you know.
Gus, when
What is
you,
it in particular about Matthew Hill that's really impressed you so far?
You know, I think his playmaking ability, and he's really quick, he attacks the ball, and he's a real confident guy too. You gotta be confident. When you're a freshman, the biggest challenge for freshmen is mentally. A lot of guys are talented enough to be out there, but just the mental aspect of everything that goes with it. But so far, after 3 days, his mental aspect, I'm impressed with him.
yeah, he's not a small guy, but he has that wiggle to him too. How valuable could that be to play in some multiple spots?
He's quick and fast, and he's under control, so he's a playmaker.
Because Carlton drew so much attention last year, deservedly so.
Who did?
Carlton Davis at
Okay.
corner, he
Okay.
deservedly got a lot of
Yeah.
attention, praise. Jamel, there's a lot of rankings out there that have him last year as one of the most difficult corners to throw against in the
Yeah.
country. Just how, I don't want to say underrated necessarily, but how good do you view him? How dominant do you view him in practice against
Yeah.
your receivers?
Yeah, he's big time. He's a big time player. He just does his job, and he can fly. He's a big guy, long arms, can fly. He's a technician. He's smart. You know, you want to know where he's at from an offensive standpoint. That's probably the best way to put it.
What's the difference you've noticed in those first week or two between like a championship type team that put it together and one that might can get there, but you're not sure? What's the difference?
Yeah, you know, I'll say this about this group. You know, we have experience back that we know. We've challenged those guys to get better and to be leaders and multipliers and, you know, affect everybody else. Probably the biggest thing is, you know, these young guys, getting these young guys and getting our offensive line and getting everything together, the pieces of the puzzle, and then you kind of know more. So, you know, I'll probably be able to answer that question a little bit better here in about 2 weeks, but I like our team, I'll say that. I like our team. I like our coaches. I mean, you know, as far as that goes, so, but just, you know, I don't want to say stress, but I just want to get the pieces of the puzzle put together, but that's a process, and like I said, hopefully we'll have that sooner rather than
What day exactly is that scrimmage? I know you said 6 or 7.
my days are, what is today?
Today is
Sunday.
Today Sunday? Okay. All right. It's on Wednesday.
Thursday, yeah.
Get off day.
Yeah.
Get off day, 'cause you asked me complicated.
Gus,
That's 4 days away.
the young guys, how valuable could that be on special teams? Not just in the return game,
I'm
but
glad you said that, because there's some guys that I'll tell you right now, if they will keep progressing and they keep doing what they're doing, it's gonna help us on special teams. I mean, there's some guys that can run, that are athletic, and, you know, in the past, when we've, you know, had some really good special teams, a lot of freshmen were factors on that, and I think that could be the case this year too.
You got the chance to look a little bit more at the Australian, and when you saw him on tape, I know you mentioned the ball wasn't.
You're right.
So, but what have you noticed about him? How's the hang time?
You know, I tell you what, really, I mean, he has a leg. He has a good leg. We knew that when we recruited him. The thing that stood out to me is, you know, he's a competitor. I mean, he's a competitor, but I'll say this, Aiden Marshall has raised his game from last year to this year, big time. So it's a really good competition. And, you know, this time last year, this feeling about, you know, our punting game, it's like night and day. And it's a great competition. He's a competitor, and, you know, it's great competition.
What's changed with Aiden, you think?
He's gotten bigger and stronger. You know, and I think too, the confidence, he kicked in some big games, and the confidence he has, and he's a confident guy too, and he's a competitor too, so. And then a guy shows up that has a huge leg, and, you know, has a way of even making you better, and I think that's what we're seeing so far.
Anything else? All right, good.